Dr. Grindstaff, summer is coming, and lots of people are worried and about their, not so good-looking feet, fungus and ingrown toenail and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about, what can they maybe now still do, but if not now, if it's kind of too late, and I guess with some modern equipment, it probably isn't too late. It probably can be fixed like in a visit or so. But anyway, tell us about fungus and or ingrown toenail. Is that a topic which we should talk in together, or is it a topic we should talk separately?
Sure. Well, both of those are enormously large fields. I mean, but let's see if we can handle it in one session here.
Okay.
I would say we'll start with ingrown toenails. Ingrown toenails are probably the most common thing that we see. And ingrown toenails most commonly occur on the big toes. And the corners of the big toes begin to hurt. They can become infected. Now, again, there are many people that when I see them, they've waited 2 months, with this toenail that's infected, and the covers hurt it at night. Their shoes hurt it, and the infection can be fairly serious. So, in ingrown toenails, even though they start simply, where it just maybe hurts a little bit on the side, can develop into a very nasty thing. Now, ingrown toenails, in general, it's my philosophy that if it were my foot, I would want to fix it so that I didn't have to ever have one again in that spot. And that's what we do most of the time. We can take out the portion of the nail under local anesthetic in the office, and we can fix the problem permanently. And so it's a very simple procedure. It probably takes about 10-15 minutes to do that. And, people are back to their normal shoes the next day. So it's not something that's debilitating or requires a great deal of recovery from it. It's a fairly...
And then you said, sorry to interrupt you, then you said that ingrown toenail with this procedure will never come back?
Yes, it's fixed so that that portion of the nail down in that corner where it's digging in is gone. And the nail is sort of just slightly narrowed so that it will not dig down into that corner again.
Got it.
And that produces a permanent fix for the problem. Rather than some people have gone into a family practitioner or something and had their whole nail removed. Well, then what happens is as the nail grows out, it does this whole thing all over again, and they're back again in 6 to 9 months with another ingrown toenail. And the idea is to fix it once and for all.
Right.
And that I think is really the best approach. And
obviously, while you do this, while you fix it that it doesn't come back, you also clean out the infection and anesthetize it, and there it is, and it heals, and you sew it up or whatever it takes to make it go. And the foot then looks like you can actually go and walk on the beach and don't have people.
Yeah. The vast majority of time, you would be in a few months you would be hard pressed to tell if anybody ever had anything done. Their nail looks pretty much normal.
Beautiful. All right. Is that it about the ingrown toenail?
I think so. I mean, it's a fairly simple thing. It's extremely common. We probably do them almost every day. It's that common.
Now,
and your second
can I stay
point
with
about the fungus?
Can I stay with the ingrown toenail for a second?
Sure.
Is there anything people can do in terms of cutting the toes, the nails, not the toe, cutting the nails so that maybe we have a chance of not getting an ingrown toenail in the first place?
Well, yes. There's a couple of things. One is, you don't want to dig down in the corners. If you can cut the toe, either the toenail straight across or slightly rounded, that's okay. The trouble is that when somebody starts to get an ingrown toenail, most of them try and do their own bathroom surgery and try and cut the corner out. Well, then frequently what happens is it just continues to get worse and worse because it's very hard to get the whole nail out of there. And over time, they develop a much worse problem because they keep working on it themselves. And so, yeah, if you don't try and cut it back in there too far, you're always better off.
Got it. Do the type of shoes we wear have any bearing on it? Most of us wear, more likely, especially the ladies, but also us guys. Maybe I shouldn't say us guys, but, me, I'd much rather have smaller. There's nothing I hate more than having shoes which are like big, you know what I mean? So, my shoes are small and etc. Does that have any bad influence on toenail, or maybe on something else like just a bunion or whatever? I don't know.
Well, it has bad influence on both of those. When you have a shoe that's too tight or too short, you're putting pressure onto the toenail itself, and you're actually driving the skin into the nail. And that will oftentimes produce an ingrown toenail. Even if you've cut your nail perfectly and you take very good care of it, if you wear shoes that are tight or short, that will certainly lead to ingrown toenails. As far as bunions go, certainly, a tight pointed toes type shoe is going to make a bunion hurt every time, and it can actually speed up the deformity. So, yes, shoes have a significant role to play.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that once you do an ingrown toenail surgery, it's gone down forever. So let's assume the person wears too tight shoes because that's just what he wants. Chances are that he'll wear too tight shoes after your surgery again. As you well know, changing as people in terms of habits, even though doctors tell us you die, and even though we totally believe it, we go, I totally get it. Another hot dog is not what I need, and here we go, hot dog, double mayonnaise. Change, it's probably impossible to change. So a person gets the ingrown toenail and he keeps the small shoes. Will that, because you did the surgery, he still be okay now?
Well, generally, yeah. In the spot where the surgery was done, generally you could wear that tight shoe and that part of that ingrown nail where it was done would never bother you again. That's not to say that another toe might not bother you, but certainly the one that was done, when it's healed the way it should never get ingrown again.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to leave it at that, and we're going to take up the fungus in another little video. Thank you very much again for your great information here, Dr. Grindstaff.